secret, baby.
Wait a minute. This is a Christian show.
Do a commercial for them. You know, it's so much that are going on in the church now, to where now it's starting to look like a TEDx church.
Yeah. My God. My God.
Who is the CFO of the house?
I am. Ready?
Well, the Greens, this is interesting.
Oh, Kelsey, you're on our side.
I hate to have to go with the women on this because I ride with the fellas, but I don't know, Chris, I don't know if I can coach them.
Listen, thank you guys so much for joining us for another week of a powerful episode of the Spoken Truth Talk Show. And before we do that, guys, I'm so excited that you joined, but I need y'all to do me a favor. Go ahead and like this right now, whether you're on YouTube and Facebook, like, and also subscribe and follow. And then, guys, listen, I need you to share on tonight. This is a powerful story, a powerful interview, and I'm actually doing an in-person interview. So before I let our person in, I need you to go ahead and share. Okay, and like and subscribe and hit the bell notification on YouTube so you can know when we're on. Okay, you'll get a notification. And so listen, tonight I'm interviewing a very special person. Okay, he has such a powerful story of redemption and healing. And so, guys, his name is Officer Seneca James. I met him at our church. He actually protects us at church, so we feel so protected when we have him there. Of course, the Lord is our ultimate protector, but I love his story, guys. So it's been a long time. I cannot wait for you guys to meet him. So before I let him in, go ahead and share right now. And then the next person you're here, right here next to me, will be Officer Seneca James. So I'm so excited, guys, to have one of the amazing people that I've ever met. He's one of the most amazing people. Every time I see him, he has a smile on his face. And so, you guys, I welcome, you heard the introduction, I'm welcoming Officer James on the Spoken Truth Talk Show. It's been a long time coming, right?
Well, thank you. It has. We've been talking about this for a number of months. And
yes.
It's a pleasure to be here tonight. So
I'm really excited because Officer James, our friends don't know too much about you. The introduction, I kind of said a little bit about you, but tell our friends a little bit about yourself and how long you've been an officer.
Well, I've been in law enforcement for almost 34 years. Originally from Buffalo, New York. That's my hometown.
Wow.
I've been with, I was originally with the NFTA Police Department in Buffalo. Came out here in 1995, and I've been with the Aurora Police Department for 27 years coming up. So,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, where did time go? I mean,
27 years in Aurora alone.
Yes, it's been an amazing journey. So, I have three great kids.
I seen one of your kids. She's beautiful.
Yeah, so ironically, my oldest son, Brandon, he'll be 23 in September. My daughter, Shauna, will be 21 in September, and my youngest son, Chris, will be 18, actually. 18? And they're all born on the same day. They all celebrate the same birthday, different years. So, yeah, it's...
Whoa, wait. You have 3 kids, yes. The same... How did that happen?
Well, you know how it happened.
Well, I know
yeah, so
I know how it happened.
It's just, you know what? That's how it took place. And
they're different ages. It's not like they... twins or triplets, no. And it happened on the same day.
They all celebrate the same birthday. Yeah, the odds are 7.5 out of a million that they're born on the same day. So,
now that's interesting, I must say.
I love them with all my heart, and that's what drives me to do well as a father.
Wow, those are some fun birthdays. No one get cheated though, right?
Oh no, it's an expensive day for dads.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You have to plan ahead.
Yeah, I have to work some extra jobs. Yeah.
I love it. So. Listen, I wanted you on the show because, one, I love to interview people. I love people's stories, but you have an interesting story, of course. And because you're in law enforcement, I had to ask you more pertaining to that. And so one of the questions I wanted to ask you, I have gotten to know you because you're one of the officers that protects us at our church, CCF. Yes. And how difficult it is to protect and serve in such a dark world we live in. And what is the biggest law enforcement challenge in the community?
Well, and thank you. Thank you for those kind words. And I love being at our church, Colorado Christian Fellowship. They treat me like family, so I'm very blessed and fortunate to be here.
And we just adore Apostle Phil and Mama Sylvia, right?
Yeah,
oh my goodness, the most beautiful people that I have ever met.
They're so full of love and happiness, and it's not even worth going there. So that's a whole other story. But I really enjoy going there every Wednesday with Frankie and every Sunday. So yeah, we could talk about that all day long.
I love all of them.
Just to be surrounded from a wonderful congregation is just a blessing.
Beautiful family, man.
So some of the challenges, I mean, being in law enforcement, being a police officer is a calling in my opinion. It's a calling. It's very challenging in today's world because of what's going on with crime and all the things that we are facing today. I mean, I've worked numerous assignments. I've worked on patrol. I've worked the streets. I've worked in special assignments. My current assignment is working with senior citizens.
Oh, I love that.
Senior citizens and people with disabilities are two vulnerable groups. In our unit, the Special Victims Unit with the Aurora Police Department, specifically, we advocate for those two groups because they're easy prey and they get taken advantage of and they get abused and all those types of things. So I'm very proud that we do that with the city and with the police department, so it's a priority. So I've been doing that for almost 11 years. So working patrol has the most challenging difficulty.
How long did you work patrol?
I haven't worked in patrol in probably 15, 20 years. So, so I've been very spoiled and blessed to work in these special assignments. So, but you know what? Where God takes me, that's where I go.
Yeah.
He leads the way, and I just go where I'm supposed to go. There's a purpose. So, so this is where I've been for the past 11 years. So, but keep our patrol officers, all our officers in the Denver metro area and throughout the country in your thoughts and prayers, because times are tough right now.
It is.
They're very difficult.
Really
some dark times, like you talked about. So there's no respect. There's no people are getting killed for over nothing. Yeah. It's very challenging today.
Yeah. And so many people have this misconception that all cops are bad. And of course, I don't believe that. I have many friends from, DC, from, all the different states that are police officers, or they working on special different type of missions, I'm gonna call it, but however, I know that's not true. But what do you say about that, this misconception on police officers?
You're right. I believe it's an unfair misconception. Yeah. Me personally, I do what I can. I do to help others. I do many things to help the community. I mean, that's our job. I mean, if someone needs assistance in a traffic accident, or they don't have any money or whatever, that's what we do. We do that every day. So unfortunately, the misconception comes from maybe a lack of training. Maybe I think the media kind of misconceives what we do. They always portray the negative.
Yeah, and never the positive.
Right. They do at times. They've been very supportive in my calling. So, I think it's social media. Yeah, is I believe it's a curse. Sometimes, I mean, because it just gets twisted around. Yeah, and it just portrays us in a different light, and I think it's unfair. Because there's a lot of officers, not only the Aurora Police Department, but Denver and Denver Metro wide, that do a lot of great things to help others. And then the media and people focus on the negativity, and they put us all in the same basket. Yeah, and I
all in the same basket.
And I think that's unfair, because there's a lot of good people, a lot of good officers that do the right thing, but you don't hear about that as often. And I wish they would.
I must agree. Even with journalism, even in the entertainment world, one person do one thing and they blame the whole entire, organization or people or whatever the case may be. And it's not fair. And so with that, like we said, is people that doing great things, that does great things, that, a person like you, and that's why we have you here. You have such a powerful story of healing and redemption, and as it pertains to help, Okay, so please tell the people about your story.
Well, I'm going to go back way back.
Yeah.
I'm 60 years old, and I celebrated my 60th birthday in August of last year.
Wow.
But when I turned 26 years old in my hometown of Buffalo, New York, I was in a police academy, and I didn't feel right. I felt I had the flu or whatever. Got through 2 weeks of the academy. Eventually, I went to the doctors, and the doctors started testing me, and come to find out I had leukemia. So, I mean, it feels like you just got hit over the head with a sledgehammer, and you're just like, wow, is this a bad dream? What's going on? You have leukemia. And so I went through all the tests, and you just don't know what to think. You don't know which end is up, and your world changes so fast. And the doctors at the time told me that your chances of survival, Mr. Seneca, are 30%. You're going to have to endure some very, very difficult treatments of chemotherapy. So that was in August 17th, 1987, and the number comes up quite a bit in my life. My kids are all born on the 7th, like we talked about. So that's when I was diagnosed. So they said you have to endure 6 months of grueling chemotherapy. And when I say that, that's an understatement. At the time, I was 215 pounds, in the best shape of my life, in the prime of my life, at 26 years old, working out like a maniac and trying to stay in shape. And then, bam, you get hit with leukemia. And I went from 215 to 165 pounds, violent episodes of vomiting and sick and high temperatures. And you know, I didn't know. I didn't think I was going to make it. There was times where I was wavering. I'm like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. And, you know, I was so sick, and I just, without the love of my friends and my family, I wouldn't be here. There's no way I would have continued and striving forward to overcome my cancer. So I got through that. So then I went from 165 after a year of inactivity, then I ballooned up to 255. So because of the steroids that they put you on and that sort of thing, so I went into remission right away, thank goodness. And then I ballooned up to 255 because I didn't work out, I didn't do anything for a year. And then, so I started over again. Then I started working out again, lost the weight.
So that was a year of time before you went into remission.
Well, I went into remission right away. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just being inactive and just trying to get back to yourself. And so I just started over again. I started riding a bike and got healthier, lost my weight. You know, eventually I got back in the academy with the NFTA Police Department and worked there for 6.5 years. And yeah, it was a hard. One of the most difficult things, obviously, to overcome my cancer. Number 2 was to lose that weight, get back in shape. And then over a period of time, I ran a half a marathon. I did. I ran 13 miles to support the Western New York Leukemia Society outside of Buffalo. So that's how I got involved with giving back.
And so now we're 2020, and so all this stuff happened. 2022, wow. Well, 2020.
Feels like 2020.
C-19 happened, and I can't say the word.
Right.
C-19 happened. And how does this affect you knowing that you have been in remission, you've been cancer-free, but C-19 at this point is affecting the whole globe?
Right. I mean, that's just been an amazing couple of years with C-19, and just, you know, I have a compromised immune system, like we just talked about, my history. You know, vaccinated, not vaccinated, I have to take care of myself. So I am fully vaccinated, whether you believe in it or don't.
Right.
That's a whole nother show.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show.
You know, I have to take care of myself. So, I mean, I get bronchitis. The after effects of having my cancer, my immune system will never be the same. I get bronchitis at least once to 3 times a year.
Wow.
So I've had bronchitis 60 times in my lifetime. So yeah.
What?
So but that's, you know, you deal with, that's the part of, hey, I'm alive. I'm still healthy. I work at staying healthy. I work out 4 or 5 days a week. So you have to take care of yourself. Yeah. Just to build your immune system. Yeah. And I totally believe, I haven't been sick in 2 years. And I recently had a mild case of bronchitis last month. So, and I'm, without a doubt, I attribute that to taking care of myself. I
Yeah.
don't drink, I don't smoke, I like
Yeah.
to eat, that's why I work out.
Right. Don't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you have to take care of yourself and you got to get proper rest. And,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, it's just been an amazing journey. So that's something because I'm 60 years old doesn't
Yeah.
mean I don't take care of myself. I do take care of myself.
So when you had it at 26. It never came back. And what is this?
35 years in
35,
August.
and it never came back. And you've been in remission.
It's. I was in remission right away, and it'll be 35 years in August.
You know that's God. That
without a
is
doubt.
wow. I know so many people that they can be in remission for just a few years and they come back. I had a cousin, she had multiple surgeries due to that, you know,
Right.
mastectomies and all of that. And so with all that you have been through, you decided to give back and serve others. And I think this is amazing. I researched a little bit more pertaining to this foundation that you have. Please tell us about this foundation.
Well, you know, when I just talked about my story and what I went through and what I endured, you know, you don't think about what God had planned for you. I mean, it's just, you know, you just different stages in your life. So when I moved from Buffalo, New York, and came out here to Aurora, Colorado, and worked and transferred as lateral to the Aurora Police Department, you know, that was in August of 1995. I got started, and then in December of 2002, I don't know what, just God put this on my heart to go to Children's Hospital when it was downtown Denver, and I just felt compelled to visit with the kids in Children's Hospital. I wanted to share my story with them. Had no idea it was going to be as big of a story as it become. Started going to Children's Hospital in December of 2002. In May of 2003, I was reading an article about a little girl named Brianna Roberts, about who had a rare form of cancer. She had a tumor on her vaginal wall at 3 years old or something like that. I mean, it's very rare. So I was so compelled to do something. I just couldn't sit there and do anything. And either you do something or you don't. So I felt compelled to do something for her and her family. Started doing some fundraising. Got a hold of her family, her mother. And then August of 2003, we had our first fundraiser, and that's when Cops Fighting Cancer was born, to help families with cancer and just to support them and help them during their difficult time.
And so you even have this shirt. I really love this with
Thank
the
you.
wings, on the side, and Cops Fighting Cancer. Tell us a little bit about that. You know, how you came up with the logo.
Well, Cops Fighting Cancer is, we had a boxing event, and that kind of came,
oh, that's neat.
Yeah, so that's you're basically fighting cancer. You're fighting for your life, really. So I just came up with that idea and just kind of that's how it was born. Fighting cancer to help families and support families. Our mission statement is hope, support, and compassion. And I share my story. Eventually, as my faith has gotten stronger over the years, I realized, wow, this is my calling. This is what you want me to do. It's for your glory, not the Jim Seneca show. It's not the Jim's glory. It's not the Aurora Police Department's glory. It's for God's glory.
Yes.
So once I realized that, it made total sense to me that this was my mission. This was my calling. This is what you wanted me to do with all our supporters and all the people that support us and help us to support these families, because they need that. Because I was there.
Yeah.
As I talked about, when you're on your knees
at 26,
you don't know which end is up. You're just looking for any kind of light, any kind of hope to get you through your situation. And so that's how our organization was born, and we're a nonprofit. We've been nonprofit. This is our 20th year. When I talked a little bit about going to Children's Hospital, it started as a small group of officers going there. I reached out to Jefferson County, Adams County, some officers from Aurora back in December of 2002. Over the past 20 years, it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger with C-19. That kind of put things to a screeching halt. But before, in 2019, December 2019, we had 40 agencies, 350 officers involved, and we come together as officers and different departments it's grown into a huge event every year.
As I'm talking, I'm showing pictures and showing them this. I saw what you sent me. Huge people in a
Right.
crowd walking. And I'm like, wow, this thing is big. How important is it that you merge your faith with what you're doing?
It's extremely important. I can't do what we do. We can't do what we do without our faith. Because you deal with so many difficult situations, people struggling, people dealing with their cancer. I don't know if people know this, but getting sick is not cheap. You end up going on a leave of absence. If it's a child involved, there's a lot of factors involved when you get sick. So, and that's another thing that drives me. From many years ago when I got sick, my family, my friends supported me. Without that, financially, and that love and support from my friends and family, I wouldn't be where I am today. So, it's it's extremely important, as my faith has gotten stronger over the years, to start this small group of officers 20 years ago. And then a couple of years ago, we hope to get on track this year, back to our normal regimen this year, because it's important to us, especially during these difficult times for officers. It's very humbling. I don't know if you've ever been to Children's Hospital.
Yes. It's one of my accounts. I can't say what, but it's one of my accounts, and it's really something.
It's very humbling, and I've had a relationship with them for 20 years.
Wow.
So I feel very blessed and very fortunate to have that relationship with Children's Hospital. So to make it a bigger and bigger event, and that becomes a long blue line event, we gather for breakfast in the morning. We have a donut eating contest in the morning. I started that because, donuts and cops go together, right?
Yeah.
So who doesn't love donuts? I love donuts, so
Yeah, I do
I don't
too.
deny it.
Yeah.
So, we have fun. We have a roll call, and then we have a long procession from 32nd and Airport, come down Airport to Colfax, and then we drive right into the front entrance of Children's Hospital, gather outside, and then we go inside. And
did you say you do that every morning?
Every year.
Every year.
Every year.
And you do that every year. Wow.
Yeah, so we had to stop it because of C-19 in 2020 and 2021, but we hope to get on track for our 20th year anniversary.
That'd be amazing.
This year. So, but it's very humbling for us, and makes us very thankful and grateful for what we have, and then we can brighten up a child's day and support the parents and the staff.
So
it's win-win.
You talked about the 3-year-old girl that had the tumors and a very rare cancer. Name not name, but talk about another person that, really was difficult for you. Maybe you still have a great relationship with this particular person. Tell them a little bit about their story.
Well, with that 3-year-old, she's doing fine. She's going to be 23.
What?
She's going to be 23.
20 years later.
Yeah. She's alive and well and going to school.
Thank you, Lord.
So, I've been very fortunate and blessed to see a lot of miracles in a lot of unfortunate circumstances, too. And I was thinking about that, and I'm glad you asked that question. Every child, every person I've met over the years, and it's into the hundreds. When you look back, and 7,000 kids that we have visited with over 7,000 kids in the past 20 years. So,
wow.
2 young people come to mind. Another Brianna, and it's very special. She had a rare tumor in her brain. She was like a teenager, like 13 or 14. Struggled, had difficulty, but what I admired about her the most was her faith. Her faith was steadfast. It was strong. And I remember, I wish I could have seen this, but I couldn't see it. I didn't see it. Her mother told me the story where one of her doctors, I think it was a surgeon or whoever, didn't believe in God. And she was so adamant. Brianna would corner this doctor in the corner of her room and say, I want to know why you don't believe in God. She would corner him, and he would avoid her. He would avoid her. Every time he would come in,
oh my gosh,
she would question him. I want to know.
You're going to make me tear up. Go ahead.
I'm going to try not to. You know what? A lot of kids, as we talked about, she lives in my heart. To be able to be asked to speak at her funeral is a huge honor. One of the most difficult things I had to do, but I felt I had to do it and share her story. So
At her funeral.
at her funeral.
So she did pass away.
So she passed away many years ago, and like I said, she lives in my heart. I'm still friends with her parents. So the other young lady, McKenna, another amazing young lady. She was more in her early 20s. Was full of cancer and all these.
Okay, wait, you didn't drop that on me right there. I'm trying to like hold that one together. Because you saying Brianna has so much faith that she would literally press the doctor. Like, why you don't believe?
Right. He would avoid her. He wouldn't come in her room. So if he was brave enough to come in her room, she would challenge him. How
long was she battling cancer?
I want to say 3-4 years. I want to say 3-4 years.
3-4 years.
Yeah.
So she probably was 17, 18 when she passed away.
We had a special bond. That was special. I mean, even to this day, I think about her, and she definitely lives in my heart to this day.
And you spoke at her funeral.
Yeah. I mean, what an honor that is.
That is an honor.
It's a huge honor.
Yeah.
It's a huge honor, but very difficult honor to do that.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm very emotional. I wear my feelings and my emotions on my sleeve. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
You know, but talking about McKenna, this is years later, probably within the last couple of years, somehow God puts these people in my life for whatever reason. I believe that that's okay. Yes. Okay, Jim, this is what I want you to do.
Yeah, definitely.
This family needs your support. Share your story. Share your faith with this family. But with McKenna, she already had her faith. She was always strong in her faith. Again, very strong Christian. Was battling her cancer for 3-4 years, and her faith never wavered. Never wavered. And this is what her organization does with her situation. I knew, because she loved one of the Christian singers, and I knew she loved her. So I contacted her management company, and they gave her tickets, and she was able to see her at Red Rocks. So I knew time was short, and then she was able to see her, got her a limousine.
What?
Our supporters, our friends, picked her up, her parents, in a limousine, drove to Red Rocks, and then she was able to see the concert at Red Rocks. She was like 20 rows up in perfect VIP. Yeah, so I'm good.
So your organization you do a lot. I mean, you got this girl. You was able to reach out to her, one of her favorite artists, to get her to actually see her. Let me ask you something. Did she survive?
She did not. And the singer was Lauren Daigle. Very
get out of here.
Very popular singer, as you know. And I just knew I didn't care what it took, but when you have supporters and businesses that support you and believe in you, you tell them the story, and we raise money for the tickets, raise money for the limo ride, made her feel like a VIP, because she was a VIP. So right up to her last days, her faith never wavered. She ministered to people. She spoke to people. Her story was to minister to people, and she passed away about a year ago. So, I mean, yeah, those are tough. But people ask me this all the time, Jim, how do you do what you do? How do you see the suffering? How do you see these difficult situations? And it's my faith. There's no way I'm that strong to get through these situations and support families and without my faith. And I know, and here's the kicker, I know for a fact in my heart of hearts, I'm going to see him again.
Yeah, come on.
I know I'm going to see him again. Yeah. I know. And can you imagine? I can't even imagine how many people, how many children, adults that I have met over the years. And I'm going to meet them again. I can't talk about that too much because I get emotional because it's going to be
a glorious occasion.
Unbelievable, glorious occasion. And
you doing it because you know what? I tell people this all the time. If God have you to do something, if the Lord, a divine appointment with God, that he have you to do something, he give you grace to do it. Even people tell me with the show and how you're doing this, how you know, because I was doing, this messed up. I said, if God told you to do it, he'll give you grace to do it. And so God is giving you grace to have that strength, even though, of course, you're going to break down, you get emotional. Right. There's times, right?
Exactly.
But he giving you grace and strength to do it, because without him, you wouldn't be able to do it.
No,
you know, you're probably in a house, in a crazy house or something. Well, I shouldn't say crazy house, but you know, you'll be somewhere where you can't even fathom your thoughts. And, you know, so that's God that you're able to do this. Let me ask you something. I know that you have the strength of God, and I know God is with you. Do you ever, because I know how the enemy tried to do, you know, he tried to play with your mind. Do you ever have certain fears? And, you know, going through this process.
And that's a good point, spiritual warfare. And that's, and I'm sure that's something we both believe in.
Yes. Let's talk about that, because there's people out here that don't know how to handle spiritual warfare when the enemy come in and feed you lies, because they're all lies.
It's for real. And over the past 20 years, for the past 35 years, Satan will put people in your life to discourage you, to hurt you, stab you in the back, and tell you you're such a great person, and before you know it, they're talking bad about you.
Talk about it.
And you know what? The biggest lesson I've learned, and I want to use that example because we're talking about spiritual warfare right now. Years ago in 2010, I had someone come to me, Officer Seneca, I hear you help people. I'm terminal. I have cancer. What do? I help her, right? We help her. Go through the process. We help her with donations and funding and hotel and traveling to and from Portland. Come to find out she never had cancer. It was all lies. She never had cancer. She took advantage of many people. And here's the kicker. And this is something for people to pay attention to. And I didn't pay attention to at the time. I had to learn the hard way. God will give you signs. He'll show you signs and tell you this person is up to no good. And she knew Scripture. She knew Scripture better than anybody I knew.
Hey, Satan is in the Bible. He know him. He threw it right back at you.
Scary. So a friend of mine came to me and said, Jim, I'm so scared. I'm scared for you. I don't know why. I'm scared for you. And I'm like, right in the middle of all this, I said, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. Because I wasn't paying attention. God tried to warn my friend through me to pay attention, and I didn't pay attention. So, long story short, we got through it. She was convicted of a Class 4 felony. She repaid us all the money back, surprisingly. She's got a felony on her record for the rest of her life, which I wanted. And I knew I had to forgive her.
Yeah.
I had, and that was, number one.
And that's not always easy.
But
it's a must.
It took some time, but I had to forgive her. And here's the other thing. I had to pray for her.
Come on.
And I had to pray for her to stop her evil ways. And
listen, you have to pray for your enemies. If you're out there, if you're going through something where someone backstabbed you, they lied on you, they cheated the system, they did whatever against you. Let me tell you something. I told someone this, they said, how do I forgive? I said, start praying for them. I have went through, and I'm a person, I used to hold grudges forever, okay? I would not let it down. I would be like, no, they did me wrong. You know? Pride. And I remember God told me to pray for a person that did something. Woo.
Wow.
It was something that you couldn't even imagine. And I began to pray for that person. The last time I seen them was at a funeral. And you know how you don't forgive when you get this little in your chest, you know. You start remembering everything they did. I had such a compassion for this person.
Peace.
It was a peace.
A peace that comes over you for this person.
Yeah. And such a grace. I felt happy and not mad or sad or wanting to, vindicate myself. No. I literally felt peace because God told me pray for them. That's how you're going to get past this. Right. You're going to pray for them and you're going to pray for yourself. Because how you expect for God to forgive you if you don't forgive your brethren? That's Bible, right? And so I had to forgive. So that's such a testament, of what you experience. Happen to forgive this person. Pray for this person. So that's amazing.
And then, you know what? The lesson was, there was a couple lessons in that, was I was too trusting. I didn't have my police officer hat on. I had my compassion hat on.
Your Christian hat, because a lot of Christians think, you can be foolish and dumb, and yes, you love everybody, but you do have to have discernment, because us as Christians can be like, I just want to help so and so, and you don't know that so and so sent by the enemy to trick you up.
Look for the signs. You got to pay attention to the signs, and you have to look for the signs. You have to pay attention. And you're going to get attacked. You get attacked. Your husband gets attacked. I get attacked. But you're just like, this is just, you might not be able to put your finger on it.
Yeah.
So that was the lesson. Trusting, and I had to learn forgiveness.
Yeah.
And it took some time, but I was able to do it. Doesn't mean I have to hang out with that person.
No.
Here's another thing. It's okay to say no. Just because you're Christian doesn't mean you have to say yes every time. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. And it's hard.
It can be hard, because we just want to help everybody. I am a giver to the T. Oh my gosh. I just want to give. I just want, take everything out of my pockets. I mean, I have taken stuff, shoes, clothes, and everything off my back. But you have to discern. There's nothing wrong with giving, but discern so that the enemy would trick you up through people.
Exactly.
So let me ask you something. Because that happened, you've been in nonprofit organizations. Did you put certain procedures in place so that you can kind of screen what's coming through?
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's something, again, you put some certain steps in there and you checks and balances to make sure that they're legit. And that's, we talked about, over thousands and thousands of people that we've helped, less than 1%, less than 3%. I mean, 1 or 2, 3. You know what? That was a lesson learned.
Yeah.
I needed to learn that lesson. We needed to learn that lesson.
You need that.
But if you keep making the same mistake and you can't say no and you keep being taken advantage of, that falls on you.
Yeah.
You should learn from that lesson and put things in place to make sure that you're not taken advantage of again.
Wow. You guys, I'm pretty sure you have a whole lot of stories.
Oh, yeah.
And especially for people that's doing a nonprofit organization. Myself, we talk about it a whole nother time. I'm doing one. And so therefore, you're teaching right now. You're definitely teaching me. And
I'd rather have someone learn from my mistakes.
Yes.
People call me all the time. Well, how did you start your organization? What did you do? Learn from my mistakes. Learn from my experiences. I don't want you to go through what I went through. I don't want you to go through the heartache and the hardship that you went through. I want you to avoid all that and go right to go. So, I'm always open for that. So, but you got to say no sometimes.
Yeah, you got to say no.
And that, that feeling that like, it's there for
the Holy Spirit tapping you. Hey, no.
Pay attention.
No,
pay attention. Maybe you got to do some backgrounds. You got to do some extra checks or whatever. So, that was a tough lesson, but I need to learn that.
So having a nonprofit organization for 20 years like yourself, I am so excited about this. You have the Giving Hearts Cookbook, Proceeds Benefit Cops Fighting Cancer. And so this little neat cookbook, oh my God. And I love to cook. I love to eat. Okay, well, we're going to have to invite you over because I love to cook and it's a lot of cool stuff in here. And guys, they have tabs, it have appetizers, beverages, soups and salads, breads, vegetables and sides, desserts, cookies. Main dishes. I got everything in here. And so this was so awesome. So tell us a little about the cookbook and how that came about.
Well, the cookbook, and we started this a number of years ago. Most of these recipes are from employees from the City of Aurora Police Department and the city. So all the proceeds go to help families again that are afflicted with cancer. So this gift is for you. So we appreciate you, what you do, and I admire you and your husband. So just one of our fundraising ideas, and we're selling them for $10 a piece. We have a number of cookbooks and that sort of thing. Just we think of different ideas to raise money, raise awareness. We've done fashion shows, we've done boxing events, we've done the cookbook. I'll stand on my head on a corner to raise money. So whatever it takes to bring awareness and to help families and raise monies and donations to help our families,
I love that.
That's what we do.
And you're wrong, because as soon as I open this up, it's a carrot cake, and I love this carrot.
Well,
You're wrong for this one, but I am gonna make it, okay?
I love carrot cake with some milk.
With some milk. And so I definitely gonna have the link for you guys to go purchase this and help this foundation. And also, we got us a nice sweater. I really love this sweatshirt.
Yeah,
and look,
just gonna wear it proud.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear this proud. My husband and I, well, I shouldn't say we mean to dress alike, but sometimes we just come out the closet. I'm like, hey, you got on what I have on. And so I'm so excited about this, but talk a little bit more, because I know you want to minister to the people. There's so many people out there. Cancer is big, okay? Cancer, it's taken over almost. And like you said, you work out, you take care of yourself in fitness. But some people just really need to be encouraged through the word of God, because I don't know anyone that can make it without having God, because it's a peace that passes all understanding. People like, why are you so calm? Why are you so happy? And it's like, trust me, it's Jesus. So minister to people.
Right.
People tonight.
When you're going through a difficult time like that with cancer, and you think, oh my God, I'm terminal, I'm stage 2, stage 3, you don't know which end is up. You're in a dark, dark place. And I remember that. And the light is the Lord Jesus Christ. He's the light. So I didn't know that at the time many years ago. I was just trying to figure out, and years later I realized that this is what you want me to do. This is my calling. This is what you want me to minister to help families, be the example, be the inspiration to help others. My chances, I don't know if I said this earlier, my chances of survival were 30%. Same type of cancer, same leukemia today is 80%. They're using the same kind of cancers, different kind of remedies, but they've gone from 30% to 80%. So when you're in that dark room, the light is Jesus Christ, and that's a fact. So I consider myself a vessel. I'm a vessel for the Lord to help people, inspire people, give them some kind of glimmer of hope, because I've seen many, many situations where they're not good. They think they're not going to make it. I was there. I didn't think I was going to make it. I was knocking on death's door many years ago, 103, 104 temperature.
Wow.
Here I am. Because God had a purpose for me. You hear that?
He did.
He had a purpose for me today. So yeah, I'm very fortunate and blessed to have met many, many families over the years, into the hundreds, into the thousands. How many people have that opportunity? Not many.
Not many.
And those two examples I talked about earlier, that's only 2. I could give you hours and hours of stories. So,
and you wouldn't have thought those many, many years ago in 87 that you'll be here now helping families healthy. So what the enemy really, that's scripture. What the enemy really didn't mean for your bad, God has worked it out for your good. It was purpose. You had to be here today to help these families. You know how many people get healed and doing good and never reach back for others?
Right. And I'm very fortunate and blessed to be able to do that. But you have to realize it. You have to pay attention and realize that. And I get this all the time. Jim, I wish I knew my calling. Your calling is there. You just have to look for it. You have to pay attention to your calling. Everybody has a calling. You have a calling.
Everyone.
Corey has a calling. We all have a calling. I'm just very fortunate. When you go through what you went through, it's a calling.
Yeah.
When you suffer and endure what I went through, it's a calling.
You were chosen. You were chosen.
Without a doubt. But
many are called, but few are chosen. And you took that. Some people, neglect the fact that God is pushing them to do something.
And I used this word earlier, and that's something I had to learn through these experiences. And everybody I meet at our church, my home church, and my church in San Antonio, the key word that comes out all the time, number 1, being grateful. And number 2, humble. Be humble.
Come on.
I work on that every day. It's not the Jim Seneca show. It's not my purpose. It's God's purpose. Yeah. God's glory. Be humble.
Yes.
And sometimes I see celebrities or people not being humble and not being grateful because they forget where they came from.
They forget. Come on now. That's it.
They forget where they came from.
They forget where they come from.
And it could change like that.
Woo.
So,
come on, you ministering. Yeah.
My faith has worked on me to be humble, and I've gotten numerous awards, recognitions, People Magazine. Yeah. And you kind of like, I'm special.
Yeah, I'm doing something.
I'm not special.
No.
My faith keeps me grounded, keeps me humbled. Jim, you're not that
Come on.
special. I'm just working through you
Yeah.
to glorify me. So,
Yes. Come on.
yeah, so you have to stay grounded because there's all kinds of things in the world that are going to try to sway you from staying, as my friend Michael says, staying focused.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what you're supposed to do.
What you're doing. So take some time and minister to the people, your last words on tonight, so that we can really uplift some people on tonight.
Well, I know we're running out of time.
No, you're fine.
Okay, we got time, so I'm gonna say it. So it pertains to law enforcement and people people that serve, and whether it's fire department or first responders. Psalm 91.
Oh, yes.
He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely He will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. Plague. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. If you make the Most High your dwelling, even the Lord, who is my refuge, then no harm will befall you. No disaster will come near you, near your tent.
Yeah.
For you will command His angels concerning you to guard you in your ways. They will lift you up in your hands so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. You will tread upon the lion and the cobra. I'm almost finished here. You will trample the great lion and the serpent, because he loves me, says the Lord. I will rescue him, I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name.
Yeah.
He will call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. This is for all our first responders.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love Psalms 91. That does something to me.
So quickly, since we're on a roll.
Come on, let's go.
It's all about thanks, right?
Yes.
And being grateful. So thanks for the gifts. I rejoice greatly in the Lord. That at last you have renewed your concern for me. Indeed, you have concerned, but you had no opportunity to show it. I am not saying this because I am need, for I have learned to be content. Whatever the circumstances, I know what it is to be in need. And I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in every situation, whether well fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or want.
Come on.
I can do everything through Him who gives me strength. Oh my gosh.
That's the one. Tell us a little bit about why that does something to you. I know, but tell the people why that scripture, Philippians 4:10-13.
Because as we talked about, my struggles and my cancer, my divorce, that was a dark time. That's another situation, another show. But when you're literally on your knees and you only have to close on your back, you realize how grateful you are when you go through those trials and tribulations. And those are, we all go through them. I'm not sitting here and saying I went through trials and tribulations. I'm the only one. We all go through
We all
trials
go
and
through.
tribulations in our life, just different things.
Yeah.
So it just makes you, like we talked about, I can't continue on my calling without God's love.
Yeah.
There's no way.
no
I can't
way.
do it. I'm not that
Yeah.
strong. And I'm very grateful.
Yeah. Well, you have really touched us on tonight. I know you have a blanket, and I definitely don't want to forget about
don't
that.
forget about that.
Before we close.
And it's
Tell
a
us-
quilt.
And it's a quilt.
The quilters will, they take it very personal.
They take it personal too. Oh yeah. I have a friend that is a quilter, and she don't play.
Well, part of, the three things we talked about, we give donations to families. We honor young girls and men that need to be honored to be an honorary police officer program. We haven't done that in a number of years. We go to Children's Hospital. But since I work with seniors and people with disabilities, I went to our volunteer program, Patty Hicks, and I told her, I said, Patty, we got invited to Presbyterian St. Luke's Hospital 5 years ago. It's been 5 years already. We have literally given 500 quilts like this to 500 cancer patients, 500 survivors over the past 6 years. We're starting our 6th year. So they're handmade.
Wow.
They're all blessed.
Oh, look. Oh, I have cops. You guys can't see it, but I have Cops Fighting Cancer knitted on there. That is nice.
So, so I wanted to give something because most of the people that we visited with at PSL were adults, and we gave these quilts to them, and we over 500 quilts.
500.
Our volunteers are great, awesome volunteers. The Aurora Quilting Bee and other volunteers make these quilts, and then we in turn gift them to cancer patients and families. We've been to university, we've been to PSL, we've been to Children's, we've been to Aurora Medical Center, we've been to Rocky Mountain Cancer Center.
Wow.
I just, again, God puts things in your heart.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what can I do to make this? I didn't know anything about quilts. What do I know about quilts? I don't even know how to.
Been in the healthcare field, I know all of those places, and some of them are major accounts of mine. And I just want to say thank you from even me being in the medical and what you're doing to brighten other people's day and giving life. I mean, where they feel like there's no life. And so I just want to appreciate you being an officer, giving back to the community, all these things that you're doing, the sweatshirts, the cookbooks, the quilt. I mean, you're doing a lot for families, feeding them, providing, funding, for their hospital bills. I mean, the list go on, allowing them to see their favorite entertainers. And, this is major what you're doing. And so we definitely want to support you however we can. So please tell all of our friends on tonight how they can reach you, and also we'll have all of the information in the description and on the screen.
Right. You can go to our website at copsfightingcancer.org. There's videos and there's stories about what we do and our sponsors. We have a Facebook page. I know we talked about Facebook.
Yeah.
I enjoy Facebook at times. When it gets political or controversial,
That's what I don't like.
I just shut it off. So
Yes,
I
that's
just
me.
stay focused on the mission at hand, and that's to help others.
Just to help
and
others.
share my testimony, my story, and whether it's the media, whatever. This is, this is another opportunity to share our story, what we do, and to help others. But here's the thing: I can have the best intentions, but I can't do this without the community.
Yes.
I can't do this
need
without the
community.
businesses over the years. And that's how it gets done. I just share the story. I just share what we do. They see the stories. A couple years ago, we paid young little girl. She had a terminal cancer. We paid for 4 months of rent because they couldn't afford their rent. So I mean, there's so many stories from fixing an engine to transportation to, I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, life doesn't stop because you have cancer.
Yeah.
But these families need our support. They need our help, and that's what we do.
So guys, friends, you heard it. They definitely need your support. Please, please, please go out to copsfightingcancer.org And please donate. Follow Facebook, all of their social media to find out what they're doing in the communities, and you can be a part. I am so blessed to have you, and I thank you so much for coming. You had me tearing up. You're going to have my makeup all messed up, but who cares? Thank you so much for joining us, Officer Seneca. I appreciate you. And I get to see you every Sunday, so this is good.
I'll see you.
You know, I get to see your bright face every Sunday, smiling and making us smile as soon as we hit the building.
I am beyond blessed.
I am so blessed to have you. So you guys go ahead, follow on all social medias. I have a short clip after this that you can watch to show what he does in the community with cops fighting cancer. Thank you so much for joining. Do not forget to share. Send this to all your friends. Listen, this was a blessing to have him out of his busy schedule to come and talk to us on tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining. Remember, go to Spoken Truth Apparel, to buy some apparel as well to support this ministry. And thank you guys so much for joining. See you guys next week for another great show, okay? See you next week.
Thank you, law enforcement, for your compassion. You're not just protecting us and putting your lives at risk for us every day, but you're also so concerned about our community.
We have 2 ambassador families as well today. We have Daisy Walsh, she's 13, she's still battling cancer. And then we have Ben Metlin. Daisy and Ben, this is your family right here. This is your blue family. We have your back.
From the moment that I was diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma, when I was 18 years old, I realized that I had 2 choices. Just as everyone has 2 choices to make when you face adversity in your life. You can choose fear and bitterness, or you can choose hope and faith. I chose hope and faith.
This is my fight song.
And I remember years ago when your life is on a string. You want to make it to the next day, the next month, the next year. That's what hope is all about.
Merry Christmas to you too.
It means a lot. It's special. It was really special. So. A good thing to do for families.
We're planting seeds in each community, each department, and they're bringing awareness about cancer.
Thank you.
Yes. Helping families, giving back, and that's awesome.